Hello everyone, welcome back to Addicted Bookworm, where my addictions all over the internet. So on this channel I do book hauls, book reviews, both physical and digital media, audiobooks, and so much more. So I have my Kindle off right now because yesterday I spent more than 30 minutes on it, so now it's down to 84%. I will say though, the battery power does go down pretty quickly. And all that stuff, which is, I'm not really a big fan of that. But anyways, this is my next to last video. So this is, so I'm reading through the Hunger Games trilogy as well as the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and Sunrise of the Reaping. The 5 books that Susan Collins brought out. So, in this one, so I finished there's 3 sections to the book. I finished section 1, and when I finish section 2, then I will do another video. I'm not going to do it like every 2 chapters I do a video. It's like every section I finish, I will do a video. And then after I do the video, and I give my rating and stuff, then I am going to, I'm going to sit down and watch the movie, and you're going to, not really watch it with me, but watch my, my expression, and everything. So, alright. So, the first section had 9 chapters. And so in these 9 chapters, and I'm on chapter 11 right now, in these 9 chapters, we are definitely introduced to the world which we're going to be in for the next 5 books. This book and 4 others. And we find out that there are ways to improve your chances of getting selected, and there are rewards for putting your name in for multiple times, and people have taken advantage of that. People have taken, if you put your name in, you get something in return. So there is a benefit to having yourself murdered. And we really get the sense that even though the children don't want to do this, they don't want to die at the hands of other children that they've never met. They don't know who they are. They have no personal grudge against them or anything. But they see the benefit of like food and oil and things like that. So what happens is, Primrose is chosen to be the female tribute for District 12. Her sister knows that Primrose will not survive. Won't survive, and so she offers to take her place. She volunteers to she volunteers to take her place, and of course it shocks everybody because they're not expecting this. We also get a sense of like how bad it is in Prim, and everything, and oh man. Because of like the dark days and everything. And I have actually listened to a lot of videos about the first 9 Hunger Games and how bad they were, and how basically in the end of it they still got their one victor, but the conditions that they were in, they allowed disease to spread, things like that. So that's what happened. I think giving people disease is a great way to get revenge on the Capitol for the stuff they're doing to you. But when we have Cadmus, Cadmus is taken on this train along with this baker's son. I cannot pronounce his name. And they are sent to the capital. And they are basically when they arrive, there's food and there's like drinks, and definitely it's designed, and also quarters to sleep in and bathe in. It is all designed to ensure the tributes get there safely, because dead bodies do not provide entertainment. And this is a byproduct of the lessons the Capitol learned in previous Hunger Games. That they have to be clean, they have to be fed, they have to be given drink. You have to treat them well, and they will provide you the entertainment that you want. Now, I was right. I'm going to stop for a second and say that I called it. I was absolutely correct. This is a retelling of Theseus and the Minotaur. And I had just taken an educated guess that was a retelling of Theseus and the Minotaur, but then it was verified that, yes, Susan Collins did get inspiration from the story of Theseus and the Minotaur. So I was very proud of myself for figuring that out. But getting back to the book, so they're primed. They're primed, and they are displayed like you would have in the circus, which is also another thing. You get that also from like the circus, the performance, the whole thing. But this is their punishment for rebelling. And what they fail to realize is that their control over the population is very, very thin. It's very fragile. It just takes one thing to set them off. But for right now, it's entertainment. People are enjoying it. Because their loved ones are not there. That's why they're enjoying it. But that enjoyment, you get the feeling when you read it, or as you read the series, you get the feeling that enjoyment is like extremely, extremely thin. Very fragile. So you have them arrive and they do the whole thing and everything. And, they have interviews and people go wild and all this stuff. And finally, after 10 chapters, we're now entering the competition, which is we all know is going to be brutal. So, with all that being said, the huge difference between the Hunger Games and, say, White Lark. Okay. So White Lark and Hunger Games, they both have one thing in common. They have one thing in common. They have a competition. The reason behind the competitions is different. White Lark is about breaking a curse. Hunger Games is about authoritarian control, about punishing people for events that happened way before they were even born. It's about the Hunger Games so far is about fear, about control, about death, blood. White Lark is about pretty costumes and different things happening and everything. Hunger Games, hardly no food. White Lark, opening mentions of cannibalism, and all that type of stuff. I was about ready to say the H word, but I decided not to. So when you go and look at the Hunger Games and what I have so far read of the book, it definitely gives off a much different vibe than Lightlark. It feels like a dystopian world. Lightlark feels like a glittered whatever. In Hunger Games, now this is what I discovered, and I did not know this at all, and I'm like, wow, this is what I mean by you need an independent publish. Susan Collins had no intention of writing a love triangle in that in the book. No intention. Her publisher forced her to put it in. I would have been pissed. And I am pretty sure that Susan Collins is still upset about that, even today. I would. If I was an author and I had no intention of putting any kind of romance, because it's a fucking dystopian world, and I'm being forced to do it, I would have some grudges. I would have some grudges. I would be like, I wish I had done this independently. Lightlark never reached number one for any large period. I mean, you can claim that, oh, it's a number one New York Times bestseller, but Hunger Games was on it for 63 weeks. That is over a year. That is over a year. Because of how good the story was. How wonderfully crafted the story was. And that is always a good thing. That's why I spent the money and got the entire freaking 5-book series, because I wanted to read the book. I know I have it on Kindle, but I want, just in case which is impossible because I'm really loving the book. If I didn't finish the book in 14 days, I would have the option of renewing it. But yeah. So unlike Lightlark, you can really feel like that this is a spectator sport. They don't care about these kids. And the whole premise of it is that we're going to show you how easily your children, your babies, who are sweet and kind and innocent, can become monsters. And that is the whole point, I believe, of why they do it. But yeah. So absolutely loving the first 10 chapters of this book. As I said, I started reading it, and I was on chapter 5, and I checked my time on the Kindle, and I had like 10 minutes before I had to clock in, and I barely clocked in on time. That was how good the book was and is. Alright, so I will see you guys. My next video is going to be my Kindle reading vlog, and I will see you next time.